Hey guys, so basically, this is what if Deku was a demon hybrid part 2. Now, I commented to, what was it, Luna Snow, a Luna Snow, that I was going to do part 2 of this what if today. Now, basically, I asked her the OC character how to describe her. She gave me a description, and I'm going to be, taking it. So basically, Deku. I think last time I left off, I don't know for certain. I think I left off at the what you call it? I think I left off at the end of the first day of UA. Now they go to UA the next day, and Deku walks into class 1A. Now, for class 1A, Mineta I said was expelled, right? So the ship that I was going to ship Deku with, that ain't gonna be happening. So basically, by the time part 4 will happen, everybody in class 1A will be shipped with at least somebody. So yeah, so basically, the OC character will be replacing Mineta. Now, if I did introduce any more other people in class 1A, they're out and they're replaced by the OC characters. So yeah. This is a description, so let's just look through this. So, part 2, that's the comment I put down. So, this is the description of Luna's, well, description. So, yeah. So, this is what Luna's gonna be looking like in my what if. Now, she's gonna be about, 5-10 feet. She's going to be a female. Her name's gonna be Luna. And she's also going to have all the abilities, or I'm pretty sure she gave me a list of the abilities, so yeah. So basically, Luna is, accepted into class, and pretty much everybody sits down. Now, basically, I did get a list of people, or, supernaturals, quirk people and supernaturals should, be like. So, for the whole entire supernatural part of this what if, it's a pretty good list and ratio of supernaturals. Now, basically the only people that aren't supernaturals, I think it would be... So this is the, a list he gave me. Quirk people: Momo, Invisible Girl, Floppy, Meta, Quirk, Special, yeah, and he said Mineta, but Mineta's gone, so don't know what he's talking about. And the supernaturals are down lower here. So yeah. So guys, hope you guys get comfortable and let's get into the what if. Now, let's get into it. Now basically, Deku starts off his journey going into class 1A. He walks into class 1A, sits down, and Luna is introduced to the class. Luna is introduced to, everybody. She introduces herself, saying her name, and saying a little bit about herself, like her hobbies or something like that. So basically, she sits down and she looks at Deku and feels some sort of connection instantly. Deku looks at her, and they surely get, this whole entire thing broken up by Ochaku pretty much, stepping into Deku's face, and Deku being a little bit irritated by this and says, "Hey, Ochaku." Pretty much Ochaku starts talking to Deku and trying to flirt with him. Deku ain't having it, pretty much just, saying yes to anything she says, and just, pretty much giving off the feeling that he doesn't want her there. She gets the feeling, and she walks off being sad and feels kind of rejected, as she should be. So basically, Deku, sits there, and All Might busts through the door a couple of hours later. He busts through the door, and pretty much he gets, he explains to everybody they're doing combat training, and they get ready, and they get their hero costumes. They get their hero costumes handed to them, and they go out and get changed. Deku's hero costume is a lot more different than canon. Deku's hero costume is going to be something like the lines of this. Now, I'm pretty sure I said Deku has, his horns are constantly changing, and also Deku has black hair. So, yeah, so Deku, basically has a hero costume like this, but without a sword. Actually, no, let's slash that. Deku looks like this, except for the, head thing. Just go back to part 1 and look in the beginning, and you'll find the explanation about how Deku looks like. Basically, Deku will have this hero costume with the fingerless gloves and everything, but having the name of his name in demon text on the back of it. So basically, Deku walks out there, pretty much getting complimented by his hero costume, but Bakugou and other people saying that it's kind of villainous. Deku says whatever, and pretty much, picks up his mask, and they get ready. Now they get ready, and Deku is teamed up with Luna, and Ochaku is teamed up with the original. Now since Mineta is explained and is what was it? Since Mineta is sorry guys, I can't remember the name. Was replaced by Luna. Ochaku takes Mineta's place, or Canon Mineta's place, in the, combat training. They still lose on Mineta's side, where Ochaku was on. So yeah, so basically, Deku and Luna walk into the building, and Luna basically comes up with a attack plan to Deku. Deku is taking note of it because he feels like he's compelled to listen to her for some reason. She pretty much says, a plan, so you distract Bakugou while I go upstairs and take down Ida. If I do fail, take down Bakugou as fast as you can, because all you're doing is just stalling the fight. Or if you can't end the fight, just end it there. So basically, Deku takes this, answer, says it's a straightforward plan, but I think it can work. Basically, they get ready, and Deku sprints off in the opposite direction in a different hall. And pretty much, Luna finds a pair of stairs and, pretty much runs up it and trying to find, the bomb room where Ida is. Now, basically, Deku is walking down the hallway, or more or less lightly jogging, and Deku gets stopped by an explosion. Deku looks up through the smoke, and he sees Bakugou there. Now, Bakugou, Bakugou, pretty much, the explosion was from a grenade. Now, Bakugou actually does still use this explosion type of thing. Bakugou's a werewolf, but more or less, Bakugou does use the same explosion thing. Because Bakugou's going to have, Bakugou's going to have, grenades, because he, admires explosions. Now, he's gonna have actual freaking grenades on his waist, so it's pretty weird. Now, basically, Deku looks at him and says, "Let's dance," and summons two swords out of his hands. Deku runs over to Bakugou, and Bakugou runs over to Deku, and Bakugou transforms into his wolf form. Bakugou starts fighting Deku. Bakugou isn't fully transformed, but he does take out his claws, and his eyes start glowing. Bakugou runs over to Deku, and pretty much grabs Deku by the throat, throwing him through a wall. Deku gains his, composure and gets back up, slicing a couple of, flesh away off of Bakugou. Bakugou heals them immediately, but also kicks Deku through another wall, and Deku, pretty much disappearing using a little bit of invisibility magic, and sneaking up behind Bakugou. Bakugou sees Deku using his, hiding senses and his version of echolocation, pretty much grabbing Deku by the throat and throwing him through the ground, and hitting him into the next floor, the lower floor. Bakugou jumps through the hole that Deku made when he was thrown through it, and Bakugou lands on top of Deku. Deku kicks Bakugou off with ease, and flips himself back up. Deku uses a bit of explosion magic, and pretty much blasts Bakugou to Kingdom Kong, knocking him out. It was a pretty okay fight, but Bakugou wasn't strong enough to take Deku on 1v1. Deku instantly knocks out Bakugou, taking him out in a long run. He's out. He's out, bro. He playing on out. Now, since this is a different school, it's a supernatural school, they basically do 1v1s. Now, basically, this is a supernatural school, they have to knock out their opponent to win, not to, not wrap tape around their neck or their leg. They had to knock them out. And so basically, Deku knocks out Bakugou, and Bakugou bleeding a little bit, but, his werewolf healing kicking in while he's asleep. Deku pretty much teleports on the next floor, up, and until he gets to, the bomb room, and sees Luna on top of Ida with her foot on Ida's throat. Ida, gasping for air, and Luna kicking Ida into a pillar, saying, "That's all you got?" And pretty much Deku uses a little bit of wind magic to propel himself towards the bomb and grabs it. They win, and pretty much Deku looks at Luna and says, "What was that about?" And Luna says, "You're a demon, you should know." And pretty much Luna and Deku look into each other's eyes, and their eyes glow red. But until they start getting closer, but until they can do anything else, the hospital, the recovery girls, team, but bursts through the room and, goes over to Ida and, prepares him, or, more or less tries to keep him alive. Now, what Luna did to Ida was basically kick down the door and run over to Ida, grabbing Ida by the throat and pretty much just throwing him into the floor as hard as he can, making a crater and Ida not being able to move. And her just kicking Ida in the chest repeatedly until she, until Deku walked in. Now, after that whole entire event, Deku goes back home, and before he goes back home, he does ask Luna for her number. He's spitting a little bit of game, if you know what I mean. So basically, he gets Luna's number, and he goes back home. Luna calls Deku, because Deku gave Luna her number, and pretty much Luna calls Deku and, starts saying, I'm sorry, and pretty much, saying what happened back there. Pretty much saying that our eyes glowed, and I don't know what happened. Now, I'm pretty sure Luna Snow said that Luna is supposed to be, she's supposed to be a warlock? Let me check that up. I couldn't find anything, but yeah. So Luna calls Deku, and Deku, calls Luna up. Pretty much they start talking back left and right, and eventually they arrange a date off the bat, the first day of the meeting. That's how strong the connection is. Now, maybe it's because they're both supernatural, and Deku, has a thing for white-haired girls, but yeah. So guys, basically, I'm gonna leave it off here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys, like and subscribe. I don't want to say that often because, it kind of gets me annoyed off when YouTubers say that. But yeah, so guys, and as always guys, have a blessed day. And before we go, you should know that now, I'm gonna be mainly focusing on my supernatural what-ifs, but I am gonna be still uploading new what-ifs then and there. Cause my, last what-if I uploaded was what if Deku was a xenomorph, and that what if did pretty good. Now guys, a tip I got, I never noticed that my like and dislikes were blocked. I just thought that was me, and it's my phone. But I'm gonna start, letting my dislikes and likes be able to be shown. So yeah. So guys, as always guys, I say this in pretty much most of my what-ifs. You can request for a lot of things for me to what if. Now guys, I'm gonna get a little bit more frequent on my action figure and my stop motion and my funny TikTok skits, or my action figure skits. I'm gonna do them a little bit more frequently on this YouTube page. So yeah. So hey guys, so you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys smash that like button and let's get into it. Now before I go, Luna, how old are you? I just want to ask that. So yeah. So yeah. See you guys later. Bye. Deuces.